Hello, YouTuber Woobers. So it's 26th of April. We've had five, count them, 5 days of no snow. 5 days. It's so exciting. It's just funny. The things we can get excited about. Well, the thing I don't get excited about is on Tuesday, I got a message on my main computer that I do most of my editing and everything on. And it said, need to reboot computer, you got a file system error. I rebooted system and I file system error was dead. It was dead. All the king's men and all the king horses couldn't put the old hard drive back together again. So I ordered a, yep, yep. Yeah, you're right. It was dead. You're right. Sorry, having a conversation with that kitty. El Zimba. Anywho, so yeah. So I ordered up one of these, and I've heard pretty good recommendations about it. So I got it the next day. I ordered it on Tuesday, and I got it on Wednesday. And then the nightmare began. I had just done something similar. I had a 128 gig drive that I put on my media center, and I uploaded that I installed Windows 10 on it. Piece of cake. I was done with the entire thing in like 3 hours. It was just amazing. I was so excited. Wow. Put this little guy in, 500 gigabyte drive in my computer, and I have 1 terabyte drives in the system, which, interesting enough, a few weeks ago, I had actually moved everything over, almost everything over into off of my 2 terabyte main drive to the 1 terabyte. The other drive has videos, and this, you know how it is. You start editing videos, you've got tons of videos. So, yeah, that was where, and then I started trying to load it on here, Windows 10 onto this computer. This is an Acer Inspire M3400. It's at least 10 years old. It's probably 10 years old. And it wasn't pretty. It wouldn't load Windows 10. It would only load Windows 7. And then the messages said load Windows 7, then load Windows 10 on top of it. And no, that didn't work. It kept bogging down and crashing and saying, no, I ain't doing nothing. It's been on for like more than 12 hours. Started this around 3 o'clock on Wednesday. And then it wasn't until this morning. And this is Thursday. You know, it seems like it was a long time. I think it was a long time because I was up till like 2 in the morning messing around with it. And, you know, Windows 7, it was great in its day, and there's really some good uses for it. But if you're going to use it for production, it's not so useful because the browsers are so out of date that they don't really work well with the outside world. And you know, I have 8 gigs of RAM as my max. It's really, the computer is due for an upgrade, and those And the reason why I was migrating things over because I was starting to look around for building a system that would work for me that I could keep in my budget. And this kind of happened sooner than I wanted. So this morning I was kind of giving up on it. I was really seriously giving up on it. I was going to start searching eBay for some kind of replacement system. I don't know, something that I could do. And I was just going to load Windows 7 and be, and just have enough on there so that I can at least do emails and, you know, small amount of stuff. And I said, well, I'll Google my problem with my model number of the computer in it. And some little comment, looking down through everybody, was talking about the hard drive controller. Now, the hard drive controller on the motherboard is defaulted to RAID, R-A-I-D controller, which is kind of like whatever was on it. This is where it's been since the machine was bought from the computer store. Well, it's not a computer store, it's Staples, which is laughed now as far as being a computer store. But, so I looked in, I went and shut it down and booted up to the motherboard settings and the boot, and it was set to RAD. Now, it said that you have to set it to AHCI, which is before RAD. First it was IDE drives way back when in its day, and then I guess it went to the AHCI. And when I downloaded drivers from Acer for the computer, which wasn't really for 10 because they didn't do any drivers for 10 because they said, we're not doing drivers or anything for Windows 10. That's what they said, 2 years ago. Like as if I'd ever buy another Acer computer, so they weren't making a good publicity for themselves. So, anywho, I switched it over to the AHCI controller interface and reran Windows 10 install, and it went like nothing. It installed in like an hour or so, maybe less, probably less. It seems like an hour when you're staring at it, but it took a whole lot longer than that to load in all the updates and all that stuff. I mean, that's been going on all day. But yeah, it's funny because on Windows 7, it doesn't matter whether it's set to RAD or it's set to AHCI, but Acer has put in some driver fixes for this controller, even though it's set to RAD. But maybe it doesn't really matter on Windows 7. But Windows 10 was rather finicky about it. And so since I put that in, I haven't had any problems with it. So my laptop, on the other hand, is not booting up because I noticed it only had 4 gigs of RAM on it. So I looked to see what I needed for to bring it up to 8. And the software I got in the mail today messed up the computer, and now it just sits there and reboots. It says I'm fixing myself, but it's not fixing itself. So I don't know if that hosed the drive or hosed the motherboard, or I don't know. I can only concentrate on one piece of work at a time. So this computer here, I think it has a 2.4 gigabyte speed. Doesn't have USB 3, but I did put in a USB PCI board, so I have USB 3 in it, and so I can have some of the New World stuff in it. But it's for what I do now. It really needs to be that much, a little bit more faster. I don't need like a state of the art top of the line $1,000 computer, but I'll have to look around for something that I can build something a little faster. So, but we'll see how it works. Now it has 8 gigs of RAM in it, and it has this 500 gig SSD. Most of my files are on 1 terabyte drive, blue, the 77 speed, not the 5400, but the 7700 speed. So hopefully they will perform better over there. The only problems I've had today with the load is that my Edge software, Explorer, the new version of Explorer Edge, has been running horrible all day. It's been sluggish and stalling. I don't know if it's internet or what. So I've put Google Chrome back on here. I'm not fond of Google Chrome. Oh, I'm up to 11 minutes. But yeah, I'm in the process of loading my Filmora video editing software at the moment. And I got to do another reboot. Rebooting just makes it annoying because you're trying to do stuff and now you have to shut it down, bring it back up, go back to where you were. But the other thing is too is that I've had this. It's a 10-year-old computer, but I've been using it ever since my laptop got hit by lightning. So that's probably been 5 years, but it has a lot of stuff on it. Now I don't have to put everything back on it. I only need what I need. Of course, I'm going to need Office. I don't know if I'm going to be able to reload Office. Just something else to buy. Well, anywho, 12 minutes is long enough for me to be chatting. If anybody has any, I'd like to get a gigabyte motherboard and like maybe an i5. I'm not sure I understand how to match. I know you have to have a certain size socket, but does that where it ends? You can pretty much do anything as long as the socket matches. If I can get a DDR3 motherboard, I can keep my memory cheap. And then I wouldn't need a state-of-the-art everything else, because this memory alone for DDR4 is $200 for 16 RAM, 16 gigabytes. So I don't know. Well, anywho, enjoy digging some dirt or digging some seeds, or I don't know. If you're playing with your computer like me, have fun. There's no point in doing it if you can't have fun. That